Oh brother, we've got Mr. Maru in the top left here on 10,000 feet. In the bottom right it is Zoun. But Maru doesn't seem to be particularly liking his spawning position. That's why he sent out a very early SCV. Now this is an interesting position because this does not really lead into that engineering bay block. That means we're gonna see a barracks. A barracks. There's a barracks. There is the barracks. Now what's he gonna do with this? Could just be a Reaper. It could be a very committed Marauder opening, for example. Doesn't really have... You want to have, I think, a second barracks at home if you want to play Marauders. I'm not really sure what this is gonna be. Zoun is gonna come in and he's gonna see nothing. He sees the lack of a production facility. And that's gonna stay like that. Now this is interesting because... Oh, is he gonna find it? So you will see this and he sees a marine. That's very interesting. We're gonna get a reactor on this as well. And yeah, so he knew already that the factory was missing. He scouts this, sees there's a factory even. How is Maru gonna play this? That's the real question. This is seen very early. It's not deniable anymore, at least not with workers, but you could do things with stalkers, really poke down these marines until there's something like a cyclone or a widow mine that would zone an area, which would need a sacrifice of a unit. And we're gonna see 3 more gates actually, even one aggressive gate here. There's gonna be a 4 gate here. It seems to be a very wise choice. For Zoun, just counter units with units. A 1-1-1 against a 4 gate. I feel like the unit abundance from Zoun should just be enough to field and just too many units for Maru to fight off here. Can he get it done though? Oh, we didn't turn on the health bars. We're gonna fix this for the next game. Please bear with me here. Bear with me here. And take a beer. Grab a beer and bear with me. Man, there's even a medevac. So Starport also got proxy. There's gonna be a medevac. Is he gonna elevate this in? And the high ground vision with the tank. Is he gonna shoot down the wall? Is he gonna kill the frickin' cybernetics core? Is this how he wins this? Not sure. At least that's the idea, it seems like. He's just gonna go in and fight Zoun. Now Zoun has a gateway across the map and he has a stalker across the map. Where is he gonna warp in now? He's actually gonna warp in all of these units in the front, and he has the recall. He does not have the energy though. The push is starting here for the Terran. We do see the second tank is almost done. He's gonna focus down the cybernetics core. That's a very wise choice. That's already been remade, which is also a wise choice. On the other side, it's gonna be a depot broken down, and Maru is just gonna keep on mining for now. No, he's gonna pull the SCV. He's gonna try to fight this off, and he kind of needs to win with what he has making right now, which is not that much. And if he needs, like, this is the only medevac he can always afford. There's no additional medevacs behind this. Now Zoun pulling the probes as well here. He did not bring the units home though. He did not recall. Not sure if I like this. Do commit after you killed most of these SCVs and recall your units. Now he doesn't have the units at home. He still needs to recall what he has here across the map. Like, he killed enough. Come on bro, you just need to defend now. He loses most of the workers. Still has a bunch. He's gonna recall the last stalkers. Can he break this though? Workers behind. Not really tanking here. 2 tanks now on the high ground. This is looking actually really good for Maru. He's starting to break through. The stalkers are thinning out. They were fighting outside of the shield battery range there on the second shield battery. And a bunch of marines with the healing power from the medevac are still staying alive here. The Viking is gonna get dropped off on top of these stalkers because it hits like a truck. It's like a little immortal that's inside this mix. And even with no tank, these stalkers, they're trying to kite their damnedest. If he can kill all of these units, it's just not gonna happen there. Yo, MW, hope you're good, having a good time. Maru is gonna take the first map here. Pooh, that was really, really interesting. A 1-1-1 which is scouted and fully proxied. And the 4-gate response that looked good on paper, but I feel like he recalled too late. If he has the stalkers across the map with the first wave. And maybe if he has, honestly, a few slow zealots in there. Which are drawing some tank fire on top of the marines for the friendly fire. If not targeted correctly, it's just like one problem that's added into the layer of complication for that engagement on the Terran side. I feel like he had a few errors. And like, he didn't have blink, there's no reason to just make stalkers. You can add zealots even if they're slow. They can do things. They're very beefy, they're very tanky, they're actually really good to have in a mix. It felt like Zoun did kind of mess that up a little bit. And that was good for Maru because he is up 1-0 now in this matchup here. In the top right we have Zoun, and again Maru does not like where he spawns. He wants at least one SCV across the map. And there's actually going to be a second one, so this time it's going to be 2 barracks. That could be Reapers, that could be Marauders. The timing of these kind of looks like that is not Reapers. The gas is rather late as well. He's gonna make that barracks now. There's the gas. It's okay, I guess. Okay, so he knows this exactly. There's gonna be the additional SCV for the second barracks. Okay, I did forget this. We're gonna turn on the damaged. So you guys get all of those things. The intel you like so much. No scout from Zoun. Just after that crazy proxy from Maru, he's not gonna scout. Double tech lab marauder. Okay, so a lot of concussive shells. Even keeps the SCVs around. So you want to have some beef, you could potentially throw down a bunker. This could be a disgustingly difficult situation here for Zoun. He has no idea that this is going on. Remember in the last game he did scout. Even the location of the proxy. He exactly saw what was going on. This time he has no idea. He saw what was going on and he didn't defend it. Now, can he do this blindly? I don't think this looks anywhere near as good as the last position he was in. And he's actually thrown a Twilight off 1 gate here. Now he's gonna see these Marauders come in. The shield battery is rather late as well. There's no concussive yet. And he did not slam down a bunker as of yet. He might just do that very soon. Also, like, have a bunker here to also prevent these probes from running in. He's gonna make it closer to the nexus there, I guess, so it can't be hit from the high ground. But already the SCVs do fall, so the bunkers get cancelled very fast here. These Marauders are trading really good though. He has enough to burst through that Stalker being healed by the shield battery, but I don't think he can kill a sentry just because the bonus damage doesn't add up. I guess with 5 you can. He's gonna scan to confirm the kill. That's actually a really good play here, and GG is gonna be called. Maru takes the second map, just like that. Is he gonna proxy in the third game as well? We could see it, honestly. Proxy a Banshee, I don't know. Proxy a Cyclone. Proxy Widow Mines. Proxy Marines. Proxy Command Center. No. A Planetary Fortress. Next map's gonna be Mothership. 3 players. It's a really good map, actually. Unfortunately not in the RSL anymore. But we just did see in the new season the 4-player map yesterday. So if anyone hasn't seen the VODs yet, go back and check that, because yes, it is. The year is 2026, and we did see a 4-player map in a professional game of StarCraft 2 in a major league make its debut into a best of 3 even. And it looked really cool. So bottom right here on Mothership, it's Maru. Is he gonna proxy again? I don't think so. Don't see any SCVs move out across the map. He would need to proxy in the middle. Top left, we do have Zoun. He's gonna go scout now. So he does take a page from his last game and say, alright man, that didn't work out, so we're gonna go and scout. Some intel is what I need, and the probe is gonna provide that. And he will find nothing. So he does see, well, where Maru is not. That's the least amount of information you could get. And it's a little bit of an unfortunate one. Because that means he's gonna have to travel the same distance again to try to potentially get that scout in. Oh, it's gonna come so late, man. The Reaper's almost done. So he sees no natural, but he does identify what's going on there. And he just goes out with a Marine timing that the Marine would have popped while he goes up the ramp there. Or goes down, I guess. Now it's gonna be the Reaper in this case, but that means the Reaper could chase. So he's immediately trying to run the probe away. He's actually going south here. He might just hide this. And I think he will be able to hide it. Oh yeah, you barely doesn't see it. Wow. So Maru also scouts the wrong location here with that Reaper. He's gonna find nothing. And he will turn around and try to hit the other base. But there's a Stalker already waiting for him. He could go by and try to go into the main, of course, by just bouncing the Stalker, but I guess he's not going to commit for that. No necessity to get any additional intel, as he just sees the wall, I guess. He just sees the Stalker, he doesn't even see the wall. But he can, of course, try to jump in here, into the main base. It is blocked, but he will at least identify what's going on here. The man with the staplers is going home now. And a Widow Mine, like a random Widow Mine in position here. It's so rare you see these Oracle openings these days in this matchup. But that used to be all the rage. There used to be a whole meta where specifically Gumiho would change it. People would go Widow Mine defense against Oracles. And Gumiho would be the first one to identify the most common locations for Stargates inside their opponent's mains, and have a Widow Mine in an intercepting course, and at a moment or a position where the Protoss would not look at it actively, so he would not be able to dodge the Widow Mine shot. And well, one Widow Mine shot is gonna be one Oracle dead. The Reaper does make it in. He's gonna get a good scout. He's gonna find a probe here. And he will get out as well. That's quite nice for Maru. But I don't think this Widowman drop should do too much. There's 3 stalkers in position. That should be plenty to deal with this. We still see the mines get out and burrow. One is gonna connect, but there's gonna be that medevac already killed off here. Quite nice targeting there by Zoun, and he will kill the last. Oh god, he doesn't get it, and he moves the stalker a little bit too slow, so he loses 1 stalk. He needs to split it then in the end. Split it to the left to be safe. It doesn't splash on anything else. That's important. The Reaper does come in. Let's get a good scout here, and whoa, he dropped off the frickin' platform, man. Did you guys see that? He frickin' grenaded himself into space. What a frickin' madman. Now Raven coming in here. He's gonna chuck down an auto turret or 2. With the current state of the energy, it would be 1. And on the other side, let's have a quick look at Maru's base and what's going on here. We do have a 3 barracks, factory and starport setup, and then the Stimmet combat sheets coming in right now as we speak. And a couple of reactors being made on the other production facilities. The 4 stalker drop here, and that will prism to one-shot Marines or SCVs. Gets an SCV, almost loses a stalker. That's a very, very red stalker. This guy, he is colored red by the player color red, and he's also colored red by his opponent's damage numbers. Did we get the Raven? No, it's gonna get out. And look at this guy, he's 16 hit points away from certain death. And this is where the push starts. Can Zoun muster a defense? He has these 4 stalkers across the map, but he's a little bit too slow, a little bit out of position, and that means he cannot really go in between, and the first blink has already been used. So what's he gonna do? He's just gonna go back. He's not actually actively trying to delay this, and he does not have the prism at home. Now he's gonna hit with 6 stalkers and try to do something. Make it 2 more. 1 is gonna fall, so go back to 7 from 8. Not sure if I like the position here for Zoun. He does have, well, these 7 stalkers. He's gonna make a few more. Honestly, you have charge come online in 13 seconds, so I think having a few charge lots might just be it. He has 1, and Immortal is coming in. Now finally a second charge lot coming in as well. Getting a little bit more tankiness here in this engagement would be quite nice. The stalkers again coming to try and find some damage where they can hit things. Oh, the Immortal is not being killed off, and that means it's gonna kill a lot of Marauders. 3 kills, they're all Marauders here. That's some pretty good defense for Zoun, and Maru is not looking as hot as he did in the other games. Now he is gonna throw down a 3rd base, so this is no all-in by any means. He's also going into his +1 weapons, so he's transitioning out of this. And Zoun, he has his Nexus up though. The 3rd base is there, it's ready to be saturated. He has already 10 probes being transferred there over to that location just now. And he is going into the robo facility here behind this, but he doesn't have it yet. And he's making an observer. That's not going to help to defend this push. There's, what, 6 medevacs or something. That's actually a lot of healing power here. The battery is drained. Guardian Shield is triggered. Can he hold this off? Maru with that reinforcement wave. Maybe looking a tiny bit too strong here. Zoun needs to engage this very carefully. He's trying to snipe individual units, but even that does not seem to work here as the healing power is just so strong from these medevacs. If he loses the space, he's gonna be behind quite far here, but that is some damage inside the main base here. A couple zealots did warp in from that prism, and they killed 11 SCVs. That's a lot of damage here. But then again, that only makes the worker count even, so I'm not even sure if that was enough. If he could catch one of these medevacs with the units inside, there's not really that much space here. Oh, if he gets that one, that's a pretty good snipe. It has still like 3 to 4 units inside, so really, really good snipe there. And Maru's army is starting to thin out, while the reinforcements are keep on being warped in here for Zoun. Now Zoun will hold. He will also hold the Nexus. and he will hold his economy lead, but honestly, not really, since there is mules for the turn. Of course, he's almost at an even worker count, and yeah. Third base is also there, just needs to fly over and land, and then Maru's gonna have a very happy time mining. It's gonna send out a medevac to drop a couple of widow mines here. Thank you so much for the raid, by the way, Nenuxo. Oh, widow mines into the main as well here. One is trying to go. Oh my god! That's actually pretty decent. The one that tried to go into the natural did not work here, and there we see the drop into the third base. More FA anti-mining time play here. Ooh, okay, one is gonna sacrifice itself. And this medevac might just scout this base, that's so funny. So I think he saw the base even, yeah, he sees the Nexus. Forge did finish up. Thermalance is halfway done here. And the first few Colossus are out on the field. Maru is going into ghosts though. He's going into one Viking at a time, it's not really that many. Kind of just thrown in an odd Viking here or there whenever he has the money, he already has a couple done. But he still kept a few of these medevacs alive. He lost 4 and he still has like 6 or so. 5 it is. So he still has half of the ones that he made. You can work with 5 medevacs for quite a while in the mid game here as a Terran if you don't have too much bio. And you can just keep on making Vikings. But if you start to lose the medevacs, of course the Viking production will be delayed here. So these are key units for Maru, he cannot lose them. And Zoun really would like to snipe those. 2 more robos. Okay, this is interesting. So that means, yeah, we're going into Disruptor. You will not see more, you will never see 3 units if it's gonna be Colossi production. But if it's gonna be into Disruptors, you will see a double robo or triple robo from time to time. We have even seen 4 robos from time to time. Marauders are gonna try to fight off these stalkers, but Maru maybe pulled a little too few units there. Has to turn around. Can he kill this Nexus down here? It seems like the answer is yes. At least Zoun thinks so, because he's gonna abandon the place. Gonna send away the probes. Just gonna let this die. Maru is kind of afraid, like, hey, are you gaining a good position on me? So this is something you can do, of course, as the player that's under attack. If it's a fringe base, you can just try to use that as a bait, kind of, quote-unquote bait. Of course, you never really want to lose them, actually. But if you have to sacrifice it to get a good fight, well, then you'd be happy to take it, right? In this moment though, the Zoun did just only abandon the Nexus. He's gonna remake a couple here in the north side. Now if you can get a few good connects from these disruptor boards, you kind of want to focus on marine groups. Because look at that, that's a lot of damage, but these medevacs are gonna heal these guys up. Because they didn't die. He gets a mine in the marine, that's a good connection. A few zealots are being warped in here across the map, run into the third base. He even has one hitting the fourth base, but he's just hitting the base, he's not working on the SCVs as of yet. I think he just retargeted that here. Here he goes. And the ones in the third actually are still there, so the Vikings are gonna have to land, and Maru's actually pulling back, so this is really working wonders here right now for Zoun. This is just the delay he needed. I mean, look at the supply. Maru's up 30 supply almost. And that's mostly army. That's a lot of disruptors. We're looking at 7 here. Yes, I still can count. The Ghost can get a good MP here. He does get a decent one on the Stalkers, but only 6 get hit. I guess it's still a lot of quote-unquote damage. If you can kind of get into the fight here now. He does kill the Nexus. He does kill a few of these probes. But checking out these disruptor hits one by one are really buying a lot of time for Zoun. That's gonna be a very good connection on the right, but that's kind of all the balls he had for a moment. There's another really good one coming in there. But the Colossus, they're gone. All the AoE is done. It's only ballers. And if you hit one unit, it's not gonna be enough. It's an AoE unit. It needs to hit more than one target. And Zoun is... well, he lost the 2 bases that he set up for the base he lost in the south. Now he has to kind of do the same. Has to make more bases in the north. We're going up to 3-3 here for Maru. We're going up into +2 only. At this point for Zoun. He's still getting his +2, so he still needs some time before he gets the blue glowing weapons. And there's already a fusion core on the way. So Maru's actually really far ahead here on the tech tree with these upgrades. And already going into +2 for his liberators. Of course, +2 liberators, they just do have enough damage to burst down stalkers in 2 hits. And the math is never going to change from that point onwards. Oh, these Vikings, they needed to move, which they didn't. Double disruptor. It's going to hit just 2 marauders. So not that great. The Vikings were abandoned though, so that's a good engage for Zoun over there. But here he does lose all of the army. A few zealots though, coming in for some reinforcements. Mostly marauders left over. Maru shooting his own marauder. This guy, the red one, he was almost the victim of a terrible misclick. But in the end, Maru is gonna win the series. 3-0, pretty strong showing. Mostly proxies, very aggressive plays. Honestly though, Zoun not looking as hot in his defensive arsenal. Especially on the first map. I feel like that's something that just needs to work in your favor. If you are gonna be wanting to win that series against someone, and you have the scouting intel, which basically reveals the plan of your opponent like 3 minutes into the future. And you have all the tools, you have all the decisions still to make for the tools that you would naturally want to turn the situation into your favor. I mean, he had all of that. He decides to go into a 4-gate. He decides to warp in aggressively. Yeah, okay. I get it. Okay. Decides to warp in mostly stalkers. I also kind of get it. You have medevac to deal with, which is the only medevac. You have a lot of kiting potential. You can kind of come in, kill a few units, go back to your batteries, heal up, and do the same again. He did not get the medevac. He did not kill enough units. He didn't really do the retreat trick. He didn't have anything to tank for his units. He didn't have any upgrades, of course, because it's a 4-gate. Just vanilla units and just vanilla stalkers. They're not that great in PvT without any upgrades. They're not terrible. They can do a lot of kiting, but it's not like you have blink stalkers, which is just, they look sometimes absurdly overpowered, right? It's not just that the mobility they have, it's also the potential to just deny damage from projectiles. So, and like closing the gap on tanks, right? It's so much damage they can avoid by that said mobility. And that's a lot of things he was lacking then as well. The decision making. Kind of, he killed all of the units across the map. Excuse me. Ugh. And then he didn't recall. And engaged already. He did wait way too long for his aggressive units to be recalled. Like, only recall, leave one over there, I don't know, warp in one additional zealot to keep on working on the freaking base from Maru and keep that under pressure, and like have all the stalkers. He had 5 stalkers or something ahead or across the map. That was way too much. He needed those at home. I feel like he just misplayed that very, very badly. And yeah.